Hello, everybody. Welcome in here to Southeastern 14. Tavarres King.
Yeah.
Homer. We'll have Knowshon Moreno on here with us in just a little bit. But guys, we are excited to have you in here. As always, we are presented by CHOMPS. You can get yourself a little healthy snack over there, 15% discount code. Hey, TK, the kids love them now. I'm telling you.
They going crazy on them over there.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't real excited about when I told you they were meat sticks last time.
I mean,
y'all went a little crazy, but I mean, y'all wilding out on me over there. But that's what they are. It says on the package,
listen,
sticks of meat.
I understand, my man. You just gotta. Sometimes you gotta watch what you say.
Absolutely. But guys, you can get some chomps over there, 15% discount code. And then if you want to partner here with Southeastern 14, always looking for advertisers, things like that, you can come on board, hit up caroline.smith@southeastern14.com, and you can partner with us. TK, while we're waiting on Knowshon to join us here, just kind of let's hit up, your reaction to week 5, man, and how everything went. You had, of course, Alabama went on the road to Mississippi State. Georgia went on the road to Auburn. Kentucky just put it all over Florida. So what were your big takeaways from the week?
Yeah, I mean, you just hit the big games. I think Kentucky going down to Florida, or Florida coming to Kentucky and getting that thing put on them, like you said, was kind of eye opening. And I think that your guy, your man's.
He's not the reason Kentucky's playing good. That's
no,
sure.
no. He's not, but I think that he's growing. I do see growth in him. Ray Davis though is a baller. That's evident. And then that Kentucky defense. Mark Stoops has just got those guys rolling. But all in all, man, for the week, obviously the Dogs snuck out of Jordan-Hare. Just a tough place to play. I think we talked about it a little bit last week. All in all, just a solid week of football. I think this week of football is sneaky. This week is like, just looking at the schedule, this week is sneaky good. There's some sneaky good games in there, with just 5-0, 5-0 Kentucky Georgia game being, I think, the one that everybody's got their eyes on.
How fun was it to watch Ole Miss and LSU? Neither one to just be able to stop anybody. 50, 55,
Yeah.
49. As a receiver, were you just dying to go out and play in that game? Did you just want to be out there?
I mean, yeah, those are the type of games, guys out wide that we love. We love for sure. When you're just running scot-free down the field and defense is having trouble, on the back end. Both defenses. I mean, how many points were scored in that game? I think at one point it was
104 points. That's my
Yeah.
math. So 55-49. I mean,
Yeah, unreal. So I mean, yeah, just a high scoring game. Obviously, a game that if you're a receiver or a guy that catches the ball like myself, then you're wanting to be in a game like that. So yeah, that was a fun one as well. But yeah, I think that like I said, this week is gonna be nuts.
we got Alex in here with us. Ump's in here. Tim Collins is in here, of course. I'm sure Diane right there watching along with him. Eddie from Mackworth is in. Andy Stowe. Glad you guys are all in here. Like I said, share with friends. Share it on social media. Like while you're in there. Hit that like button. That always helps out. And guys, TK and I will break it down. We're supposed to have Knowshon join us here in a little while, but we'll kind of talk over some of these games. And then towards the end of the show, we're going to open it up and let you guys kind of come on one at a time if you want to come on here with us. Diane is here, so welcome everybody in. So with that game with LSU and Ole Miss, of course, we saw those wide receivers on display. We saw what they can do. Malik, Nabers, and Brian Thomas. We know the defense is absolutely awful. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about is that matchup that's coming this week between LSU and Missouri right here. You see LSU is 6.5-point favorite at Mizzou, even though with Mizzou being undefeated. Knowshon's guys over there undefeated.
Can we speak on them without him?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? I mean, I know it's not appropriate. We got to wait a little bit, but hey, we just got to go ahead and move on right here until he hops on the show. So from a wide receiver standpoint, I know you went back and you've watched Malik Nabers and Brian Thomas, what they're doing at LSU. and then you've watched what Luther Burden does for Missouri. Is it fair to say that this game is going to have maybe the most collection of wide receiver talent of any game in college football this year? I mean, it's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. You know, I watched some tape on Luther Burden earlier today, and the dude is just a dog. You know what he does with the ball after the catch is phenomenal. He turns into kind of a running back in essence. But I mean, they give him those little jet touch passes that you see kind of Lad McConkey catch, and he just gets busy with them.
And sometimes he's behind the line. They'll just run a little behind the line, like flat route boot type thing, and they just get him in the flat. It's almost like a fullback in the wing tee back in high school. You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those situations where you're just like, let me find a way to get the ball in this guy's hand any way that I can. Just even if he's like a oh crap outlet, let me get it out to him because he's that special. So just phenomenal talent. I think he'll be definitely a high draft pick, probably a first rounder. In my opinion. And then on the other side, you talk about those LSU guys. Goodness gracious. Brian Thomas is super special dude out there giving Jaden Daniels a crazy talented target. But you know who I think the guy is. I think the guy is Malik Nabers, bro. I think he just I think he's so dynamic and changes that the LSU receiving core. But both of them together is just a crazy 1-2 punch. And you said it, dude. Like even their 3 and 4 receivers are special. I think LSU probably has the deepest wide receiver core. Debatable with Kentucky. I think it's pretty good too. But
you've been a number one receiver on an SEC team. And by the way, Diane, thank you for telling me about my microphone. You'd think my man TK would over here and tell me, hey, you sound like you're in a tin can tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, listen, I ain't worried about you. You was over there sounding like Hank Hill, bro. I ain't know what you had going on.
Sounding better. Got the mic. It'd help if I was on the right mic. But anyways, here you've been a number one receiver in the SEC. You know how hard it is when teams start rolling coverage to you and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Nabers, what does he do? What does he do that makes him so effective? I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He is fast, but he's not the fastest guy in the world. But man, what makes him just so, a guy that Jaden Daniels can say, hey, I trust him to go make a play.
Just that. He's reliable. You said it. I mean, he's super reliable. His route running ability, he always finds ways to one, get open, but two, to come down with the ball.
Contested catches,
yeah,
man.
To come down with the ball. He's a guy that catches in traffic, makes those bang bang plays that we call them, where you're catching the ball. If you don't know what a bang bang play is, where you're catching the ball and you're getting hit at the same time. So it's bang, ball's hitting your hands, bang, you're getting hit. He makes a lot of those contested catches, and he's a special player, like I said earlier. But I think that's the thing that separates him from a lot of people is just his reliability and just his willingness to make those contested grabs.
Two different type of styles. You're going to see Jaden Daniels and Brian Thomas kind of hitting Brian Thomas and Malik Nabers more down the field a little bit. But Brady Cook, like you mentioned, they'll hit him behind the line. They'll use him as a check down almost, where they've run everybody off, the OEs and all those guys off, and then here comes Luther Burden just hanging out in the flat, and they'll get it to him late, and then he just makes about 10 people miss and gets in the end zone. I mean, it's two different dynamics in how they go about doing stuff. Now, of course, Burden can also go deep as well. I mean, he's got speed, he's got talent, but they use him so versatilely. I'm excited to see how that is. What's your thoughts on this one? I mean, LSU's favored, but do you feel like they'll respond, or are they going to come out backs against the wall? Because technically, I mean, they only have one SEC loss, so technically they're still in the race for the West. Or do you think after giving up 55 points to Ole Miss, you think Brady Cook's got a chance to cook with Burden against them in Como this week?
Yeah, I mean, I would say Mizzou's been playing a really good caliber of football. With their big win being against a Kansas State team, I think they've been playing really well. But yeah, I think if Luther Burden if they can get Luther Burden going, I think they can hang tough with LSU, but you do got to think that LSU's feeling a little bit kind of testy with their backs against the wall, like you said, and want to come out swinging. So, God, you got to think that they're gonna go into Missouri and put up a good fight. It's just hard for me to go against LSU in this one. I don't know. It's just hard.
I had that logo right over your chest. Eddie thought you was wearing Mizzou gear for a minute there.
Bro, I was thinking the same thing, Eddie. I was gonna move out the way or slide or something, but I was like, man, whatever.
He's gonna move laterally like Luther Burden, get a little slide going on, get it out of the way, get those hips going side to side. That's what Luther Burden does. He gets those defenders coming and just breaks them down. So guys, that's our thoughts on LSU and Missouri. My overall think, I think Como's a hard place to play. We saw that with Georgia last year, TK. Yeah. And now you got LSU going there for an early kick. So just tell people how hard that is in general. Okay, I don't care if you're in the NFL, y'all do that. I mean, 1 o'clock's not an early kick. It's a little bit better, but 11 a.m. I mean, just give people a sneak behind it. We talk about the X's and O's, and we're going to get into that more really with Kentucky and Georgia a little bit. But I mean, talk to people what it's like getting up for a 11 a.m. kickoff.
Oh, I mean, it's a little different.
What time are you waking up? What time does the team wake up typically? Something like that.
You probably get a 6 a.m., 7 a.m. wake up. More so probably like 6. You're up, getting breakfast, having early meetings, last minute reminders, checks and reminders and things like that. And then you're off to the stadium. I mean, it's early, bro. It's one of those roll out of bed, one of them.
It's like Little League all over again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're used to, because you got to think, most teams typically, don't practice in the morning.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So it's different for your body. It's different for everything. You got to get some good rest the night before. And then you want to kind of get up a little earlier, get moving and going and all that stuff. So it's a little different, but we'll see we'll see. I think the LSU boys will be all right out there.
Alex wants to know which is harder, the early kick or the late one, like 6 o'clock or after. Which one's harder for you?
Probably that early one, man, because you're just it's just so different compared to everything else. You don't have very, very many of those. I think Mississippi State, when we go there, we did that at Georgia. So probably that early game, man, getting up early and having to go, because that 6 o'clock game, that sun start going down. It's started to get nice out there. Crowds start getting going. You know what I'm saying? Everybody liquored up and juiced up. So it's nice out there at 6.
Absolutely. And hey, this one's not at 6 that I'm about to talk about, but this one is at 7 o'clock. And it is Georgia's. Listen, it is Georgia's first. Now you got the G on your chest right there.
Ooh,
it is Georgia's first SEC night game. It's Georgia's first SEC night game at home in 2 years. Jaden Daniels was their quarterback against South Carolina in 2021. The last time. Oh boy. Listen, if you can't be here,
put it back.
When you can.
Now don't cover my face. Don't cover my face.
Yeah, I got to take that off. Hold on. Production here. Production. What's
up,
brother?
What's good, y'all?
That boy got the deer. What's the deer? Tell me the deer. What's the deer?
Some little golf course out this way. Over by Funk, actually. Yeah.
Oh, by Funk. Okay. Mm-hmm. I gotta get after that
one. We've been talking about your Mizzou Tigers, man. You missed out on it, Knowshon. We talked about Mizzou, and real quick. Give us your thoughts on that. We'll come back to Kentucky and Georgia in just a minute. Give us your thoughts. LSU coming there, backs against the wall. You got your undefeated Missouri Tigers over there. Your squad that is going in, trying to keep it perfect over there. What's your thoughts on that game?
I don't know. You're gonna have to see when we start this podcast. I don't know. I don't have no thoughts. Tell you the truth. We're gonna see though.
We are started. We're live, dog.
Live.
Yeah, we on. That's 8:45.
Well, hey, what happened to everything? Shoot, 13 minutes. Let me see, 14. I thought we started at 45, bro.
No, we're 8:30.
It's all funny. Good.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. We're live. We're
rolling. We hear it now.
What's your thoughts on Missouri and LSU?
Man, what? Bruh, I thought that thing was on 6:45. Apologies. That's crazy.
No problem.
All good. Well,
No,
shoot. Well, let's
Andy
talk
thought,
about
dang,
them
that's
then.
awesome.
Because I didn't think too much about them, but I love the way that they're playing right now. That defense is playing great, flying around. Offense is putting some points on the board, and their run game looks decent. You know what I'm saying? So I just think they're riding this momentum right now, riding the wave. And shoot, we're talking about a wounded LSU right now, coming off a loss. So, shoot, and they got 2 losses on their schedule, so they're trying to find themselves and they're trying to figure out who they are as a team, right? So this is a perfect time for Missouri to get this thing done. You know what I mean? And shoot, go 6-0.
Tim Collins said we almost got the unrated version of
Bruh.
Knowshon's.
I was like, man, you'll find out when we start this thing. But nah, and yeah, and shoot, and Luther Burton going crazy. Did you talk about Luther?
Yeah, we were talking about Luther,
Yeah.
and we.
Well, hey,
Knowshon,
yo,
we
he
talked
got
about those
he got
receivers, man.
400-yard games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's yeah. I mean, this is start. That's starting fast right there.
Yeah, that's for dang sure. That's for damn sure.
That's starting.
So we always got to get your opinion on running backs. You know, Schrader over there is running the ball pretty good for Missouri, and you know Nathaniel Pete over there for them. That LSU defense, okay, Knowshon, against Ole Miss. We talked about how many points were scored. Knowshon and I did, or TK and I did right off the top. They gave up over 300 yards rushing and well over 300 yards. They gave up total 706 yards of offense to Ole Miss. I mean, have you ever seen a defense that, I mean, that's the most in LSU history yards given up in the history of LSU football. What is going on over there in LSU? Because we thought this thing was going to be salty on that defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. They're struggling, man. They're just not, they don't know. I feel like they don't know what their identity is yet. You know what I mean? And that's uncharacteristic of a LSU team. You know what I mean? And Brian Kelly, I mean, coming off a season that they did last year, it's tough. It's tough, man. And in this game, man, it's not going to be any easier, really, honestly. So we'll see how they rebound from a close game with Ole Miss. And I know that we talked about they gave up a lot of yards both in the air and on the ground, but you know, Ole Miss is not anyone to hiccup against. You know what I'm saying? They got some runners over there and they got some receivers on the outside that were making some big plays during that game. So you don't like to see them giving up that much yardage, but they did, and we'll see if LSU can rebound this week versus Missouri.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. And then we were transitioning here to Kentucky and Georgia. And before we get to the Georgia and Kentucky game, Knowshon, I know you went back and you watched Ray Davis, that 280-yard performance against Florida. So just give us your thoughts. They're doing a good job of mixing some inside zone, mixing some gap scheme. Tell us, you know, what Ray Davis is doing well and why that scheme is working for Kentucky, especially against Florida.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. They did a little bit of the gap scheme and zone plays. I think they just called a really great play because they were not only gashing them in that run game, but then coming up, you know, to the line and giving them the same formation, giving them the same look with the run action, but then hitting them with these little dunks, you know what I mean, to these receivers and letting them go out there and do what they did. So I think the play calling was tremendous. But yeah, the gap scheme is pretty much just a man blocking play where it's, you know, big on big, and you got to hit a specific gap. If it's A, B, C, wherever that gap is, you got to hit it there as a running back. So you saw that in this Kentucky game. They were pulling their guards a lot. Sometimes they even pulled the guard and tackle, and they were just crashing down on a defensive lineman for Florida, and that guard and tackle was just coming around, kicking anything out, and letting Ray Davis just kind of, you know, stay patient with it.
Patience. That's what I saw, man. That patience.
Yeah. Well, you got to be patient on the gap scheme because, you know, you got that puller coming around. You don't want to beat your puller, right? So you want to just come right off the butt crack of that guard or tackle.
Where are you going?
Off that butt crack,
all right.
the guard that you got to.
And
got to hit, and it's a trust play. The gaps is more as a trust play. You know that you got your player pulling, and he's going to kick anything out that he sees. So you want to trust it. And once you see him come across your face balls, you want to just hit it full speed, right? So
There you
you saw
go.
that a lot of the time. And the film that they're going to have to watch, Florida, on the way that they were covering that, and the defense for that play was ridiculous, because that person has to take on whoever that end is, or that linebacker. You have to take on that lineman pulling. You can't wait on them, or you can't try to go underneath. You know what I mean? You got to meet them, collapse that hole down, and make that running back bounce it to all your coverage for the defenders coming down, your safeties and your corners, right? And they weren't doing that. They was letting the lineman just, get up underneath them, and letting the running back get underneath and take it from there. So it was just a great just scheme.
Well, Florida kept playing it like dog crap. I mean, literally, they kept that play side linebacker kept running underneath the pull and block. So Kentucky just kept calling it, and he just kept housing it on them, going down. And then when they did do the zone, Kentucky mixes up zone, and they also have duo.
Yeah.
They also have duo, where they create those. It's become really popular in the NFL and college over the last couple of years, where they get two double teams at the point of attack over there, and it looks like zone, but the running backs kind of go in the opposite way. So, I mean, that's something that Ray Davis did really well too. So, guys, it's going to be a multifaceted rushing attack that Georgia has to face in Kentucky. Georgia's a 14.5-point favorite against Kentucky at 7:00 on Saturday night. I was telling TK right when you came on, Knowshon, this is the first Georgia home SEC night game in 2 years. JT Daniels was the quarterback the last time, the starting quarterback the last time Georgia had a home game. That was South Carolina before Bennett took over for him. Since that time, Georgia has only lost one game since that entire time, and they've won 2 national championships. Guys, I think the crowd is going to be quite primed up and ready for this game in Athens Saturday night. What do you guys think?
Yeah, they're gonna be juiced now. They're gonna be juiced. It's gonna be a great environment for sure. Kentucky's gonna have to deal with a lot of juiced up Georgia fans for sure.
What do you think in terms of Knowshon? Sometimes, people are up in arms about Georgia saying, "Oh, they didn't fit the run well against Auburn." But I think, in my opinion, I think that had a little bit to do with Auburn had an element of quarterback run as well. Kentucky's not going to have that with Devin Leary.
Yes, they're not going to have that with Devin Leary. I'm honestly, to tell you the truth, man, I'm really not even nervous or scared when it comes to Derek Leary. Honestly, it just does not look impressive to me at all, right? I mean, last game he only had like 60, 70 yards passing. Like,
listen,
what is
he is not the same person that he was at NC State. I don't know if it's his pec, he doesn't have the confidence, or he's not been able to gel with these receivers or what, but I don't know if you saw early on in that Florida game, he has Dane Key sitting on the goal line, TK, like a little snag route, a little stick route where you just go in and sit it down at about, 5-6 yards. And he airmailed him. He was wide open, and he just threw it 5 yards over his head.
I mean, to his defense, it was defenders there. So I feel like maybe he was just trying to get it up so he can just jump up and get it. But yeah, he was wide. That was a touchdown play. Easily.
And no, you're talking about the one in the end zone. I'm talking about before the end zone. He's sitting there and nobody around him.
Oh, I was talking about the end zone.
Yeah. But then when he did throw a good ball, Barry Brown dropped one in the end zone, and then Dane Key drops a key third down. I mean, they cannot get in sync. So I don't know if Georgia has a whole lot to worry about on Kentucky's pass game.
Don't say that shit, like, because
they're gonna come out here flinging that thing.
That they'll come out here across the yard, and they got weapons out there, bro. It ain't like
once they get it to them, they got
it ain't
weapons,
like they don't. So yeah,
I was on that train. I was all about, I think this Kentucky offense is going to be dangerous because of the receivers, and I thought Devin Leary was going to be great. But as Knowshon said, at 5 games in, we know what you are. You know what I'm saying? And he has not been consistent. He has not been accurate. He's not been able to get them the ball. When he has gotten them the ball, they've dropped it. So,
in those regards, you say that. Let's talk about us. Let's look in the mirror for a second here. Who are we 5 games in?
A team that doesn't start fast but finishes really well.
There you go. I mean, that's kind of what I would say. But you're gonna run into some teams. I mean, we've ran into some teams that started faster that can't finish. Just quite the opposite. So you're gonna run into some teams that are starting fast and finishing fast. So yeah, bro. I don't know. I mean, what's your gauge of scare? I mean, I know obviously we
From
5-0.
10?
You said
I'm
10.
scared of that run game. I mean, honestly, I know we can stop it. I mean, Florida didn't really. They were soft in the point of attack, man. Honestly, I know Georgia's not going to be like that. But it's a dangerous run game. So I'm nervous about that run game for sure.
Look at what my man Alex Page said.
Listen,
this is what he said right here.
And I agree 1,000%. Like that's that you play to win the game. Yeah, you play to win the game. I understand that. But I mean, obviously, you want to see us play a complete game.
So here's the thing. A lot of people, we talked about Kentucky's run game and how they do it. Georgia, I think, has to, and I know Dejan Edwards has really given, and Knowshon, you and I talked about this yesterday. He's really provided a boost there. He finds ways to he doesn't need much. He just needs a little sliver, and he makes his way through there, and he's had some productive runs. But they haven't just got the overall movement that they really needed to get, so far, and they've had to go to the air more. But Carson Beck, guys, I will tell you this. He is 8th in the entire country in passing yards. He's completing 72% of his passes. He has missed one wide open pass to Oscar Delp in the Auburn game and one wide open pass to Jackson Meat. So he's got to hit those layups. But you talk about they were 8 of 13 on third down, Georgia was, in key situations on the road at Auburn. I don't think you can ask for a whole lot more out of Carson Beck. I just think you got to have people start making plays around him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he missed that one to Oscar Delp. I think that was big because I think it kind of changes the trajectory of the game early on. But yeah, I mean, guys do have to step up out wide other than 19. You saw Vad come in, do what he does, third downs, making
3 of them.
Yeah, making some big third down plays. Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint as well, playing well this entire year, been playing well. But guys have got to step up. I think 5 and 6, Ra, as well as Dom. They've got to be guys for us, down the stretch, down the back end of this season, this schedule. I think they got to be guys, and they will. I think they will. So it's not a. Yeah, I don't think my worry meter goes any further than a 7 right now.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to put this over your face right here, TK. So pardon with me for just a second. Andy Stowe says, do y'all think the Dogs need to pass to run because no offense to anyone on the team, but Knowshon isn't suiting up Saturday. Neither is Todd Gurley, Sony Michel, Swift, Chubb. Knowshon, is it a case where sometimes as a team, and I'm sure you've had this either in the NFL, if your line hadn't been, great at some point or something like that, but when you were at Georgia, you guys ran to open up the pass. Is this just going to be a different year with Georgia where they got to start out passing it to open up the run a little bit?
I don't think that's necessarily different than last year. I mean, I feel like we still had those weapons on the outside last year, and it was sort of like we spread them out. We slung that thing across the field a little bit, and once they started to, give us respect on the outside, we took advantage of a light box. And I feel like that's the same thing this year, man. They know that we have all these weapons on the outside, so just pretty much do what you did last year. Sling that thing around, make sure the box is light, and then run it in the light box. You know what I'm saying? Use those weapons out there. I feel like Georgia, a lot of the time, they get into these bunch plays, or I feel like, give me five wide. Give me 4 wide on they butts. You know what I'm saying? Let's fling that thing around, make them respect these weapons we have. And then let's just go ahead and run in a light box. But I feel like a lot of the formations are tight. They're using a lot of bigs. And I'm like, hey, get this out of here, Bobo. Come on.
Listen.
Open that thing up, man. We got too many receivers out there. Give me 5 wide. Take the back out. Whatever. Give me 4 receivers. And let's go ahead and tack them boys downfield.
You are speaking my language, man. Hey, listen. You saying some stuff I like. You know,
He's talking to him.
He's saying stuff I like, bro. I'm about to go line up.
Do you notice that though?
No, I definitely agree, bro. And it seems like with all the weapons that we have, you would think that we could do a lot more from a from a personnel perspective and just kind of dink it around to several and a bunch of guys and let them get busy, like you're saying. I don't know, man. I definitely feel what you're saying on that note. Like, it could definitely be way more opened up because I think if like last year, like you said, we did do a lot of things, a lot of formations where we were spread out wide, even flexed out Brock and things like that, and opened up that run game a little bit. So yeah, I'm with you. I definitely think that could change some things up.
So overall, last thoughts on Georgia and Kentucky. What do you think the keys are, and how do you think this one turns out if you're doing, kind of a overview prediction right here?
The keys to victory, obviously for Georgia, would be to stop the run. Don't let nothing sneaky happen in the passing game. I think, like we said, you kind of know who a guy is 5 games in. Then he's coming to a crazy hostile environment, one that hadn't been as hostile probably since Knowshon was yeeking around to the it probably ain't been that crunk since then. So it'll be a test for him for sure, but I think that's the key to victory for Georgia is stop the run, and then offensively is just start fast, and finish. And then for Kentucky, I don't know what to tell y'all, boy.
They're gonna have to get pressure.
I can't be giving away no tricks and shit.
JJ Weaver, I think JJ Weaver, Trevin Wallace, those guys are going to have to blitz. Knowshon, I think they're going to have to bring some pressure, and if they do, I'm not sure that that's a good thing to pressure Carson Beck, because we saw when Auburn tried to come at him, the dude took it right in the chest and completed some third down passes. So,
and that's what you need to see out of him. That's what I've been wanting to see out of him. Can you stay in that pocket, take a hit, and still deliver the ball, right? And especially in crunch time and crucial moments. And he's starting to get there. He's not there yet for me, but he's starting to get there. He shows that he can get it done. So that's great to see.
Another big game that we have to talk about this week coming up, and apologies, TK, I'm going to cover you up here with the spread real quick. We're going to go right here. You can peek over it right there. Alabama -3.5, Texas A&M in College Station at Texas A&M. We know that Jimbo Fisher's team always gets up for Alabama. They had an impressive win over Arkansas. Alabama had a nice win where they really started But they really started to mold their offense towards Jalen Milroe's strengths, I thought, against Mississippi State. More quarterback run. They only threw 12 pass attempts on the night. It was ground and pound for Alabama. So, guys, what are your thoughts just right off the bat of Texas A&M and Alabama at A&M this weekend?
I mean, for me, this is a big game for both teams. I think it's going to be a fun game because it's a meeting of the minds. Like you got
Bobby Petrino.
Bobby Petrino calling plays, great offensive mind, and then you got Coach Saban, obviously, and what he does, super special. So, from a defensive scheme. So I think that in itself is going to be crazy, but big question mark for Texas A&M is probably at that quarterback position, Max Johnson. How you gonna do this thing? I know that's your guy out there.
Not bad.
Yeah, I know that's your guy, and I like him too. I like Max, but I think that's a big question mark for this team.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, when you talk about, when you talk about Texas A&M, Knowshon, do you feel that Texas A&M is going to be able to? We know that they brought in all those talented guys 2 years ago in that recruiting class, that big all-time recruiting class, and they got all those guys up front. Do you think they're going to be able to handle Alabama's offensive line run the football, because ever since that Texas loss, Alabama's kind of said, okay, we're not going to be this drop back team and all this kind of stuff. We're going to get downhill, run the football, let Jalen 1-2 and kind of go on the run game with quarterback run too. Do you feel that Texas A&M will be able to handle them trying to just run it down their throat?
Well, I think you said is Alabama's going to be able to run down their throat?
Is Alabama going to be able to run it on the road? Great way, you know as well as anybody, great way to take a crowd out of the game is to be able to run the football against them and just bleed them dry. So, I mean, do you feel Alabama will be able to do that against Texas A&M's front?
Well, they're going to have to. They're going to have to run the ball. Texas A&M, their defense, I feel like they've been playing really well. They've been flying around, making some big plays. And we're talking about a team that got 20 sacks already on the season, second in the SEC, right behind, I think, Tennessee. So they're going to get after that quarterback. So if they want to try to make it a passing game and we're going to drop back and pass every time, I don't think that's going to be very wise of Alabama. So they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to keep a nice little mixture of run pass to kind of keep Texas A&M off balance. But at the end of the day, I think I believe Alabama gets it done. This is going to be crazy, though. If they can get this win, this kind of puts Texas A&M back on the map of, especially after the last year. It was like, bro, what are they doing? And this year it's like, I'm still not a believer of Texas A&M yet, especially when what is it, Weigman was in there.
Yeah, Weigman broke.
Just wasn't my dude. You feel me? At that time,
so you like Max better.
I do like Max. He needs to stop running. Stop running, Max. You tall, lanky self.
I like Max better too. I think he's the key to this game, though. Like
TK Alex asked here, he said, but can A&M protect Max? I mean, there was times where he got flushed out of the pocket against Arkansas, got hit a few times. And like you said, Knowshon, dang, that man doesn't slide for nothing. He just runs and just barrels into people. Him and Jackson Dart both.
Cut that shit out. You better cut that out, but that's a key to the game too. I mean, obviously, how he plays is going to be integral to Texas A&M success. But can they protect him? I don't think so. So he's going to have to play above what's in front of him, because I do think Alabama's starting to get it going from a defensive perspective. I think they're starting to get it going. So I don't know, bro.
What's your gut feeling? Do you think Alabama beats them on the road?
He getting to them too.
Yeah, Dallas Turner's out there going crazy. You say what? Do I think Bama get him on the road?
Y'all think Alabama beats A&M on the road?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give him the nod in this one.
Mm-hmm. I think here's the reason I picked Alabama. I picked Alabama because I think that defense, especially with Terrion Arnold coming along to be nearly just as good as Kool-Aid McKinstry now, like he's playing really good at that other corner. And that used to be the spot that people would go to pick on Alabama. They say, okay, well, we can't go at Kool-Aid, so we're going to go over here and Terrion, and he got roasted a couple of times last year. Well, he has stepped up his game, played really well against Ole Miss, played well last week. I think that, that secondary is playing good. We know what that front seven is with Dallas Turner and Chris Braswell. I just think that defense is going to be too much for A&M to consistently move the ball against. The big equalizer, Knowshon, is does Jalen Milroe take care of the football? If he throws picks, like just stares down people like he did against Texas, well, it's over with. Texas A&M will
I don't think he will. And I feel like he's been doing a better job of like, all right, let me get off of this and let me use my legs a little bit, which I like to see too. So I don't think he will make those big mistakes. I think if anything, he'll just take off with his legs. So Texas A&M is going to have to at least keep a spy on him.
Absolutely. I'm dropping the link for you guys to join. We'll admit one at a time. If you want to join right here, there's the link in the chat.
Have a question, man, when you come up in this thing.
Yeah, come up here, give us a question. we got about, about 15 minutes left on here, so we'll let people get in here and ask a couple questions if you want to, and let you guys come in and talk with us here. Let me
ask one. Screw it. Hey, Georgia cover that 14?
Here's the thing.
It's 14?
Yeah, it's 14. And TK, you can give your thought on it. Oh, here's Eddie from Macworth. Let's let Eddie come on before Eddie.
There you go.
How you doing, Eddie?
Good. How are you guys this evening?
Doing good, man.
Eddie, now I'm gonna ask you the question. Eddie, they covered that 14. Tell me everything.
What are they? 0-5 against the spread so far. So I'm gonna go 0-6. No, I don't think so. No, Sean. I'm gonna play the odds there.
Wow.
But I did want to ask you guys a question kind of based off of last week's game. So I'll start with the positives, 2 that I took out of the game. First, Carson Beck passed the test. We were all curious how he was going to do with a pick 6 in a hostile environment, and he let him down the field to win the doggone game. 2, you'll like this, Knowshon. I thought the pass pro was phenomenal. But Dejon Edwards and even Cass Jones, giving Carson time in that pocket, they made some great blocks to give him some time. The 2 things that concern me, and they carry over to this game, or maybe not, y'all tell me if they're correctable. I think they are. The first one is setting the edge. Now, maybe it's not quite as important in this game because they're not going to be running the RPO with Devin Leary, has 9 rushes for minus 20 yards this year. So that's not a threat. But they still got to set the edge, and they did not do a good job of that. But I think that's correctable. The second thing, this really bothered me, is balls all over the turf, guys. There were several. We got really lucky on that play that Dejon hit the ground, because if we fumble there, the game's over. I think we lose that football game. And Makai back there, flopping around trying to get the ball on that punt return. Mm-hmm. We got to secure the ball better. But like I said, I think those are correctable. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, on the worries you have, for sure, definitely 2 correctable things. I mean, setting the edge is something that is harped on daily. At those DN positions. And then obviously we saw what they did last week with Ray Davis. So I think that'll be a point of emphasis this week and something that we get done. So not worried there at all. Knowshon, what about you, bro?
I'm hoping maybe, since I'm so nervous about that run game, like I said, Kentucky does a great job of utilizing, like Blaine mentioned earlier, that gap scheme and the zone scheme where, the linemen are just blocking the area, not necessarily a man, they're blocking the area. If something crosses them, they hold on and giving that back that
two-way goal
freedom, kind of? Yeah, that freedom to go anywhere. He can take it front side or cut that thing way back, right? So I feel like Kentucky does a great job of that, and I'm hoping that maybe this is a week that we put a couple more in the box. Since Darren Leary hasn't been having a great season, I know they have some weapons on the outside, but I'm confident in our corners and our safety at least stay over the top. Let's put some more in the box this week to stop this run.
But don't you guys think that if of all things we've learned about Kirby Smart, what he does going into a game like this is we're going to take that one thing away that you do well.
Yeah.
They're going to take that run. They're going to make them beat them through the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Kirby's going to do, take that strength away.
Yeah,
no doubt. And Eddie, one thing that I've noticed, and I kept wondering, sometimes if fronts and things like that, sometimes you'll see Georgia have a head up 4 on an open side and nothing else be out there, but they depend on a safety or a star or something like that to come down and make the force. And it was just late a couple of times. But Kirby made the comment after the game. He said, hey, we got to help our players. And so I think Kirby's smart enough to know, hey, we got a good defense, but we may not have the same freaks that we had there at different points the last couple of years. So I think you'll see them align a little bit different, a couple of things like that. But Eddie, I think it'll be a little bit different, but Kentucky's no joke. They can get Barry and Brown out on the edge. They may not be able to run a quarterback, but they could do some things with getting Barry and Brown and Tavion Austin involved to give some diversity to Ray Davis. So I think that would be an interesting thing. But Eddie, we appreciate it, man. We got to get Andy on here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it, bud. All right, Andy Stowe. Andy, what's up, brother?
Not much. What's going on?
All right, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. Okay. The first thing is, I think Georgia does cover the 14. I think they'll cover this week. I think it'll be the first time they cover it this year.
Okay.
I don't know about all that.
And I might be
more
with him
confident than I am, man.
Well,
I think I always backdoor that thing.
Yeah. I think they're going to dominate. I think they're going to come out and dominate this week. I think you hear all week how bad the run defense is. I think they're going to show that it's not that bad. So.
Kentucky's, their front 5, man, they really move some boys around, honestly. They really do. I watched it, man, and we all saw it.
Yeah, but remember last time Kentucky came to Athens with all the hype? They had the guy that his whistle, they talked about how great of a running back he was. He was nowhere near like DeAndre Swift. Swift made him look stupid. I think it's going to happen again. We're going to show them that it's basketball time in a couple months.
We ain't got no DeAndre Swift, though.
They don't. I know I'm with you. Like I said, Knowshon's not suiting up. I get it. But I just think they're going to choke.
And I think I might maybe agree with you on this game when it comes to the spread, just because once we shut down that run game, it's like, what can Darren Leary really do? I want to.
Exactly.
I can't wait to see it, Blaine. The Heisman
no.
Trophy winner. I can't wait.
Will listen. I tell you, when I admit that I am wrong on something, he's not the same guy.
Okay.
And I told this to
I'll start
me and
giving you
Andy
crap
were
about
talking
it
about this. Andy, you and I were talking about this earlier this week. He's just not the same player that was breaking all of Phillip Rivers' records at NC State. I mean, it's just not. And he doesn't look confident. He doesn't look on the same page with the receivers. I don't know, man. But Andy, you got one more quick one, and
I have a completely off the wall question for y'all. Let's say that Texas A&M wins, and let's say they go on to win the West. Just think about this.
You're saying a lot.
I'm saying if they win the West, think of what that's going to do for Bobby Petrino's status again. Do you think he would get another SEC head coaching job?
100%.
You think so? Even with all the craziness. So you think they would go back to it because they did it with Hugh Freeze and Lane Kiffin's had like 3 of them. So you think he would get?
No, Sean, you said yourself how much of a dumpster fire A&M was. If Bobby Petrino comes in and fixes that offense to the point where they win the West with a backup quarterback, don't you think he gets another shot at a big job?
I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot of jobs opening. I feel like once this next year comes up, that Michigan job, right? That thing's going to be open. It may not be SEC, but that thing's going to be open
leaving.
over there. Michigan State, isn't it? Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Sorry.
I was about to say.
Yeah, not Harbaugh. Michigan State team. So I mean, it's going to be some jobs opening. So, but yeah, I mean, if coaches can show that they could turn a team around and they have success, of course, teams are going to be calling. So we'll see.
Yeah. My thought is, if Florida struggles, would he end up at Florida? That's what I'm
saying. But I mean, they're also doing things
Florida's
over there
getting Dion. If Florida comes open, they're getting Dion.
Ain't going nowhere, bro. State. Stop it. Dion ain't going nowhere, bro. I mean, if anything, he's 3 years out. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere, bro.
Andy, we appreciate you, brother. We're gonna get Alex on here.
All right, now. Appreciate it, Andy.
Alex, come on in. How you doing, brother?
Finding you all. Hey, to Andy's point, what do you blame? What do you consider a big job for someone like Petrino with his past?
I mean, anywhere that's better than Arkansas.
But Arkansas was solid. I mean, had he not messed it up, I mean, I know we talked about what Freeze did and past transgressions. But with Petrino's situation, it's a little bit different when you're associating with a staff member, and and on top of just the track record of him being one to flirt with other gigs, even when the person that he's interviewing with, his former employer, the job is currently filled. So he's got a lot. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he got another opportunity. I'm just thinking, when you talk about big jobs, obviously Arkansas would be of that ilk. Michigan State would, potentially be of that ilk as well. Now, that's not to say I don't think either one of those. I don't think Michigan State would be interested in bringing them in, but crazier things have happened. But I do have something for you, Blaine, because last week you're talking all that big talk, which it was okay because you're supporting the Georgia State Panthers. You encircled a group. You encircled a whole group of opponents. Like 2 weeks later, not knowing that the Detroit Trojans were coming to town. So that's all. I'm gonna just leave it at that because what occurred. So
I was just excited for Georgia State, and I was like, they're undefeated. That's a young program. I like what Elliott's doing over there, and man, they laid an egg at night in Atlanta. That was rough. That was rough for the Panthers.
It was a Trojan takeover. It's okay.
I'll tell you what, though, looking at their schedule, though, Texas A&M, man, it's gonna be tough, brother, to win out.
That's not happening.
You know what I'm saying? Alabama, Tennessee. You got Ole Miss still. You got LSU at the end of the season.
See, also with Ole Miss, they had a big win last weekend, but they may have a slip up at some point, and their slip up could be this weekend against Arkansas.
Oh man, they better not slip up versus Arkansas.
I'm just saying.
Everything
bound to happen.
Everything go through KJ Jefferson on that Arkansas team. So
Well, sadly, everything's been going through the offensive line in front of KJ. So.
That's
a whole issue in and of itself.
Well, Texas A&M held Arkansas to 42 yards rushing on the day, I believe. It was abysmal. Like that just can't happen.
You said it. Y'all all said KJ was going to have a day. Didn't y'all all say that they were going to win that game? I feel like everyone said
I
that.
picked A&M.
Oh,
Blaine.
You can go back and look at
remember
my
we were talking
predictions
about
here on
KJ.
Southeastern 14.
Okay, that's fine. I'll go back because we were
Southeastern.
talking about KJ and him rebounding and having a better game because they won, go back-to-back games losing like they did. That's
Right.
What we
Oh yeah, well, I thought he'd have a better performance than he did, but I thought A&M would win the ball game. A&M's just too talented. A&M's just too talented, and Alex, I don't know how you feel on it, man. I know you got your evaluation prowess over there. I think that A&M, the only thing that they have that is a real concern to me is I'm worried how their offensive line holds up against Alabama's defensive front. But other than that, I think they're on par everywhere.
Yeah, from everyone talks about their receiving core and obviously the front seven. No one really talks much about their secondary, which when you have the front seven that they have, you don't really need to talk much about the secondary unless their secondary is getting toasted, which we have seen evidence of that here and there the past few games. So, but yes, the offensive line is a major concern, regardless of who the quarterback is, whether it's Max, whether it's Wigman, regardless of who, if Petrino's calling the plays or Jimbo, if you can't protect your quarterback from especially against blitzes, then it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, they coming for sure.
Yes, no doubt. It's like Knowshon mentioned, Dallas Turner and Braswell coming off the edge. So, with that kind of talent, you don't really have to blitz much if you got those kind of dudes coming off the edge. So we'll see though.
Let me ask y'all, who y'all think gonna win the West though? Let's be real. Who gonna come out the West? Let's talk about it right now.
I will say this: the winner of the Bama A&M game will probably have a pretty good chance of winning the West.
Word, you just kicking Ole Miss up out of there, huh?
Not necessarily. I'm just saying. Well, look. If you think about it,
you got to remember.
Bama already beat Ole Miss. So if Bama wins, beats A&M, then that kind of puts them a little bit further ahead. And that
we got to remember too. Ole Miss did give up. We talk about how many yards LSU gave up. Ole Miss gave up 600 something yards in that game.
Oh man, here we go.
And the points.
And 49 points. They just happened to score 55. They interviewed Lane Kiffin after the game. They're like, Coach, what was that performance like? He's like, well, we scored more than they did.
And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I get it.
In that moment. Now, granted, when you're looking at the film, that's a whole different situation, especially if you're the defense coordinator.
Pete Golden, man. Pete Golden. Well, Alex, we appreciate you coming on, brother. We're gonna about to hop off here in a minute, but appreciate you, man. We'll catch you next week.
All right, now.
I'll tell you what, man. I think Alabama, man, still. I mean, if it ain't gonna be Ole Miss, I don't have no faith in Texas A&M. I don't think they're gonna win it.
No.
Their road to the playoffs is just too tough, I feel like. So
they got to go to Tennessee after Alabama.
Tennessee, they got Alabama, they got Tennessee, they got Ole Miss still up, and they got LSU at the end of the season, right? So I'm looking at Alabama to get up out of there. Then,
it's gonna be interesting, guys. Parting thoughts, a real quick game. I'm gonna say a team's name, and you say one word that comes to mind when I say this team's name. So we're saying one word, okay? And it's just real quick. Georgia. Knowshon, what's the word when you hear Georgia?
Unsatisfactory.
Okay. And we'll break them down here in a minute. TK, what's your word on Georgia?
Incomplete.
Incomplete on
them. Okay.
Yeah, I would. My word for Georgia would be ascending.
Okay, I like that too.
Working its way up. What would your guys' word be for Texas A&M?
I say unimpressed. I'm unimpressed with Texas A&M. Even though I like what Max is doing, and they're playing well, but I'm just unimpressed so far.
TK?
I say eyes because all eyes on them. Especially,
all right. I like that,
especially this week.
Okay.
My word would be O-line. So show me O-line what you're gonna do this weekend. It's all on you. Can you protect Max Johnson? Give him time, let him go, or is Alabama gonna wreak havoc over there? What's your word on Missouri?
Contenders, baby.
Wow.
The boys out there playing. That's what I had for them. Guys. Gotta talk about the boys. Let's talk about 5-0 right now. I love it. Love to see it.
My word is serious, question mark.
Serious? As in like
serious? As in are they serious? Like are they serious?
Goodness.
I mean, we'll find out. I mean, we're gonna find out this week.
This is gonna be it's gonna be a very interesting game versus them in LSU. Yeah. Man. I can't wait to see.
Yeah. I'm excited.
My word's Burden. If you just get him the ball as much as possible, get Luther Burden the ball as much as possible. That's the word. Chris Taylor's got a word. He says dark horse. He likes that's his word for Missouri.
I dig that.
And then I guess my last team that I think we should do one word with. I want to say a team that I know TK, you got a soft spot in your heart for Napier, but my dude is 9-9 now, 9-9 here in his tenure at Florida. So what's your one word for Florida?
My one word, surprising. Surprising.
What's so surprising? I need to know.
I mean, beating Utah was surprising, but then they
didn't beat you. They beat Utah last year. They lost.
Yeah. Well, losing to Utah. I mean, just everything, like just surprising, just the way that it's going down because they got. It's a great. I don't know, bro. When you think about Florida and Gainesville, it's a historically a great football university, great football school, great school in general. So what they got going on is I give it to you. Garbage.
What's your word, Knowshon?
I called them soft, especially in that last outing. I mean, a lot of missed tackles, guys just laying around. Being soft at the point of attack. It was no physicality. So first thing I think about is soft.
Yo, Tim's so silly.
Yeah, it's tough out there. Soft.
Is that soft? SAWFT? Is that how you spell that?
Yeah.
SOF capital T.
Soft.
My word is hot seat. Because I don't think Billy Napier, if he finishes the way I think they're going to finish, I think they'll beat Vanderbilt, who they have this week. But after that, guys, I see wins hard to come by. Even they go to South Carolina after that. They get a bye week. Then Georgia. They got Arkansas at home. They could win that one because Arkansas is playing terrible. They got to go to Baton Rouge, to Missouri, and then Florida State at home. There may be 2 more wins on that schedule. And if they finish with 4 wins, I don't know that he survives, guys.
No, I mean, and it's like I said, it's just surprising to me how I don't know it's just this dumpster fire down there, like
dumpster fire. There's a word.
Yeah, guys, there we go. Hold on, man. We got to go back and explain our Georgia words. We ain't do that.
Oh yeah, we didn't explain the Georgia words. Go ahead. What was your word?
I'm satisfied. I just know that they have more in the tank. They can get more done. And they will. I like your word, ascending. But I'm not satisfied yet with what I'm seeing. I'm waiting for that complete game for me to be like, all right, let's get it. I'm just not wanting to just jump on. Like, you know what I mean? Yes, they're playing well. Yes, they're winning. But I need more, okay?
I'm with it.
Goodness gracious.
I'm right there with you. I said incomplete. I like your word, ascending. I do think we're getting better playing. I do like that we're winning games. I do like that we're finishing games. Well, I said incomplete because we've yet to play a complete game. I think we got to start faster. I think it's got to, as clean as it's been, no false starts, no delayed games in that last game, which is very impressive. On the road, as clean as it's been, I think it could be even cleaner. I think it could be even more explosive. And it'll look that way when you start fast and finish fast.
Okay. No doubt. And I just think they're continuing to get better. You're talking about Carson Beck. All the first are out of the way. Okay. And people, please don't, if you're asked anything or comment on anything, don't call Carson Beck a young quarterback. This man has been at Georgia for 4 years. Okay. I know he's got some experience that he's got to get game, but he's got his first SEC game out of the way in South Carolina, came back in the rain on that one. He's got his first road game out of the way in Auburn. His first are gone now. Now he's going to settle in. He's He's 8th in the country in passing after 5 games.
You don't give him the grace you gave 13.
What are you talking about? I said I think he's doing great.
Okay, all right. I was just saying.
No, I think he's playing unbelievable. This man is 72% completion. He has 1,500 yards, only thrown 2 interceptions. Now he's left 2 tutties out there that you got to hit in big games where you got layups out there. So he's got to be able to do that. But one reason, TK, Carson Beck's more talented, naturally talented than Stetson Bennett. Stetson had to just go out there and kind of wield and deal over there, be a backyard football player.
I don't know. Wait a minute, bro. So you saying Carson is a better athlete, a better player than
6'4", 215 pounds, and has a rocket for an arm. He's a prototypical NFL quarterback.
And you know me, I'm one. You know me. I keep it real, especially when it comes to stats. And I might be on Stet's side here. He's not showing me what Stat was showing me last year and the year previous. I mean, yeah, you might say, okay, he's taller. Okay, whatever. He has a better arm. I would put it maybe on the same level, but we're gonna see.
Yeah,
so, right. Where does he get drafted then? Where does he get drafted?
I'm a big Stetson guy, but I really think that in terms of in a vacuum, you're looking at Carson Beck being the more talented. I didn't say he's a better football player. No, Sean, there's a difference between when the lights come on and a guy going out and playing. Heck, y'all saw Tim Tebow practice out there in Denver, and then you saw him play in a game. There's a difference between somebody being the talent level that they have and then how they play in a game. Stetson turned it on in a game and was really out there going out and doing his thing. Carson Beck is you look a cutout of what a quarterback should look like. He's that guy. He's 6'4", 215 pounds,
there is no cutout of what a quarterback should look like, in my opinion. Like, okay, there's no, do you get that shit done or do you not? Like, so far, he's getting it done, but from a wiggle and let me strike out on you for 70. I ain't seen no shit like that, so I'm gonna have to give it.
I love how this has come full circle. Where now y'all are the ones loving on Stetson.
I'm gonna have to get a nod to my dog, steady.
Yeah, I'll give him a notch above.
Absolutely, and hope everything's going well with Stetson out there, whatever's going on. So, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We went a little bit longer than usual. That's because you guys had great questions, and we're a part of the show, so we appreciate it. Everybody tuning in. We got a great weekend of football coming up. You can catch us normally on Wednesday nights. We had to go on Tuesday night this week because of some travel coming up, but we'll be back next Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, right here on Southeastern 14 with my guys TK and Knowshon, of course, former SEC and NFL greats there. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time on Southeastern 14.